Hello dear children and dear parents. Now I'm going to show you how to do the Montessori buttoning activity. The reason why I'm not using the actual Montessori dressing frame with buttons is simply because you don't have the access to Montessori materials at home. This is why I will be using everyday objects around my house in order for you to be able to recreate all of the activities at home. For this purpose, I'm using a sweater with large buttons. Now, you might want to pay attention to a few things when creating your activities. We always have to keep in mind that in Montessori, we start with simple and then we move on to more complex activities as the child masters the simple ones. Why is that? Well, one of the obvious reasons is we don't want to discourage child by giving them a too difficult task that they won't be able to complete. We want to use few buttons in the beginning, not too many, so they are able to sit through the presentation and sit through the activity and be able to complete it. Then we want to use large buttons because their fine motor skills are not yet so well developed that they can manipulate the small buttons and small holes. And also we want to gradually build their focus on the activity and the concentration to be able to sit for a longer period of time to do more complex activities. Now it's very important the way you display the activity before starting. As you've noticed, my table is dark color, so is my sweater, so there is not much contrast between the two. This is why I'm using this very simple IKEA cloth just to create the contrast between the workspace and the actual material. Now, what I didn't have the opportunity with the clothes that I had in my closet is I had only the buttons in the same color of the fabric. But if you feel extra creative, you can just replace the buttons using a contrasting color from the fabric so your child can clearly see them. When you are presenting the activity to your child, it's very important that you sit next to your child, not opposite from your child. So the child can copy your exact movements. It's very important that you don't talk during the presentation because children learn through our actions at this age, not through our words. They are in the phase of concrete operation, which means that our words are very symbolic to them and the instructions we give them might not be as understandable as we think they are. So it's always best to show and let them copy our activity. Now I'm gonna start with the presentation as if the child was sitting next to me, and you will notice that I'm always trying for the child to see what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna block with my elbow or with my body because I want the child to actually see what I'm doing. And it's important that you complete the activity from the beginning until the end before you let the child work so they can see the whole process, or what we call the cycle of activity in Montessori, from the beginning until the end. Now let's get started. This is how we show the child that our dressing frame is open or our sweater is open. Would you like to try? If the child says yes, we will simply pull the object closer to him or her, and we can sit for a couple of minutes just to make sure that the child is doing the activity well. And we can say something like, I'm gonna go and prepare lunch, and I will come back to see how you did the activity. So I hope you liked this presentation and that it helped you to learn how we do presentations Montessori way. It's very important to do all your movements slowly and to make a pause between every action so the child can absorb all the movements that you did. Now also, if your table is too high, you can always ask the child to stand up or to lift themselves on the chair to be able to see over your hands. I hope you liked it and that you will be practicing this with your child.